Is this any better? Am I working? Oh, okay. I think maybe working. Wait it out. There I am. There. Done. Yes. Okay, right. Let me give you the Hangouts link. Get in there. Whoever wants to come in, do what you need to do. This is a 1 hour only affair, just to let people know, okay? This will finish at 1 a.m. British summertime. Keep on posting that link. Whoever wants to come in, come in. It's fine. It's an open invitation. There's no rules. It's just no, Tim. One. I have got to be up in the morning. Liam's in. Hey. Are you there? Oh, can't hear you. Oh, Abigail joined and went again.
There we go.
Hey. Cool. I think we're working.
All right.
Yeah, and this, everyone, this is a 1 hour only.
1 hour only.
That is it. I have got to get up in the morning.
Maybe.
No, it will be a 1 hour.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Definitely agree. So we just witnessed the debate between Emma, is it? And how do you pronounce it? Is it just FriendEd or FriendEd?
I think it's FriendEd, isn't it?
FriendEd. Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah. I
Yeah.
only caught literally the last 10, 15 minutes of it.
Yeah, me too. I didn't.
But it sounds like he's just appealing to, you know, hey, if everybody does it, it's okay. That's literally what it came down to.
Yeah, it does seem like I didn't really get his point. Especially, I wish Emma had kind of pushed him a bit more at the end when he started kind of stumbling a bit. Where he's just like, she's like, well, why don't you just kill them? However, if you don't care, then what does it matter? I kind of like to have seen that.
Yeah, and then he was he was using humor to evade and stuff like that, and it was. But you know, you can do whatever you want to people as long as the majority of people agree. That's fine. You know.
Yeah.
And he didn't see anything wrong with that reasoning and logic. You know?
No, he did. He went through slavery was wrong, and this was the same concept that he believed. So he sort of just admitted himself that he was wrong, and then carried on with the argument, saying there was no flaws in it.
That's what tends to happen, doesn't it? I don't know. Silly people. Hopefully I'll watch it back and then maybe kind of question some of the things he said. And kind of be, why did I say that? It's a bit weird. But I kind of hope that they have another conversation.
Hello.
Oh, hey. Yeah, basically, I've been chatting to Emma on Facebook anyway. She said I could have ramped it up, but I just couldn't be bothered. It's not my style. She's not like mega confrontational, Emma. She's a bit more chill.
No, and that's perfectly fine, and I appreciate that. I really do. It's just like when this guy is just being so retarded, like that's the only way that I can explain it. It's like you are literally saying because everybody says that it's okay, that it's ethical, right? But then he was like, no, I'm going to use my own definitions, you know, only when it's convenient for me. And it's just like, dude, like, are you serious right now? Like, get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. Like,
maybe
like, cause it's like,
maybe we should invite him into one of these chats with the squad.
Yeah, absolutely. I promise I won't call him any names or, you know.
Should we actually, if we post I'll post the link on the comments and see if he wants to hop in.
I don't know, because he was clearly like watching the chat room towards the end there, and he was even posting, but he was absolutely not answering any questions, even though earlier he's like, oh, let's take some questions. You know, like
I wasn't there for the stream. I popped in right as it ended. Could you explain to me like the basis of what happened during the stream?
Well, we only kind of saw mainly the end as well. So Vohan, did you see the whole thing?
Yeah, I saw pretty much the whole thing. Minus 10 minutes from the start. So his argument was it's okay because I think it was social contract, but he worded it in a different way, like moral agreement or something like that, which is basically if enough people believe something in a society, then that makes it okay. But then he admitted it was wrong, but with slavery. So I don't understand how he thinks it's a logical position or a good argument to have, where he admitted that this position has been wrong in the past. So I honestly don't understand. I think he's suffering.
I swear at one point, didn't he kind of say something about that's your logic or something? And then he kind of stopped and went, yeah, he kind of questioned himself. Kind of like, yeah, logic should be logic. You can't really question it. I do remember there was this awkward moment where he kind of said something and then kind of thought I should have said that because it sounds silly.
Yeah, I came in right when towards the end where he's like, well, why isn't arbitrary a bad thing? You know, it's like, oh, you know, who just like I think Tim was saying, like, oh, an architect just arbitrarily chooses his designs. You know, there's no methodical, there's no method behind it. You know,
well, at least we got a new one. We got is it Wagyu though? Is that the new one?
Looks like it. Man.
We can add that to green crab and lentils.
Oh God. What is that?
I'm not sure. I'm guessing it. I don't know, it sounds like it's deer or something, maybe. Tim should know.
What it was an excuse to avoid Emma's question when she was saying, why don't we just completely just beat the shit out of the animals before we kill them? Why give them any rights? And he was like, no, because I want to, because I intuitively know that that's wrong. Anyways, Wagyu, guys.
Oh, it's a beef breed, apparently. Yeah, Paul just said in the chat, which is right. He said, I guess the Earth really was flat at the time where everyone believed that was true, because majority rules, right? That's insane.
It'd be a really horrible world if everything on the face of the Earth was decided democratically.
Just everyone got together and just decided how the world was.
It's like, tonight, the entire world will eat this for dinner. We are going to vote on it. Majority rules, guys.
Triangle.
Tomatoes are illegal tonight.
See, this is why democracy is not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Like this is
democracy is only a good thing if everyone's sensible and
right.
Otherwise,
you know, that's why there is such a thing as a democratic republic. You know, that's why USA is #1. Sorry, Chris. I think we've gone through this past couple of days.
Why are Americans so patriotic? Like British people don't give a shit. You know, you ask people about like, yeah, you're from England, UK. You're just like, yeah, it's all right.
Well, we all agree that USA is #1. You know what I'm saying? So because we agree, it makes it true.
I think English people are just too chilled out for our own good. Most people would be like, how's England? Yeah, it's a bit crap. Nothing really going on. Americans are like, yeah, America, get your flag out. Right.
It's been kind of like pounded into our brains since school.
Yeah, I guess.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
It's like we don't even.
Yeah, we pledge allegiance to our flag at the beginning of the day, every day.
People are almost frowned upon for having like a British flag. Over here, it's just like, oh, not one of those people. Not one of those patriotic people. Like, yeah, no one gives a shit.
I'm sure half my neighborhood has an American flag up right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I could literally walk through my entire town and never see a flag.
Huh. We have a lot of British flags here too.
Really?
Yeah,
I can't remember that.
Yeah, a lot of people like
wear British flag.
Yeah, a lot of people wear like T-shirts and shit with British flags on them, like as like just fashion.
Yeah, it's all quite strange.
You see a lot of English flags when the football's on, but that's more to do with football, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's pretty much what British flags are kind of represent these days. People are going to see the football. Like no one else ever has them up just because they're like proud to be British, unless you're like the EDL or BNP or something.
Is it football meaning soccer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or football meaning football, because that's what it is. You use your foot. Football.
American football is shitty.
American football is just rugby with pads.
I don't know what rugby is.
It's just American football with no pads.
No. All right, guys, I'm gonna take off. I just wanted to stop on in and say my 2 cents. All right.
No worries. It's only a quick stream anyway, but always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
I'm looking to stream tomorrow, so tomorrow night, so if anybody's down. All right.
I'll be at the vegan camp out. But
oh hell yeah, hell yeah, sounds good. All right, take it easy, guys.
Sweet. Yeah, see you soon, man. Yeah, if anyone else wants to hop in the stream, feel free. I'll post the link again. It's an hour only stream. I'm not even an hour now. We've got 49 minutes. It will not go on any longer because I can't keep doing this. My sleep patterns are terrible.
I have a headache from how late I've been staying up.
How late have you been staying up? What, have you been doing more stream? Because isn't it like afternoon when you're doing these? Or
no, it's 7:09 right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's around the time I should be like relaxing and getting into bed, and then I stay up because I become addicted to the internet, and I'm like going to bed at 12, and that's late for somebody my age.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not late.
Well, what do you think is late then? The time you're going to bed?
Yeah, like 3 or something.
Oh goodness.
Going to bed at 12 is like an early night for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Even when you're not streaming?
Yeah.
Oh, good God.
I regularly go to bed at like midnight, 1 o'clock.
What time do you wake up?
Like 10, 11.
Oh, makes more sense then.
Yeah. I work, luckily I'm self-employed, so it means I can just get up and work when I want, which is handy. But yeah, it does ruin my sleep patterns. Like last night I went to bed at, what time did we finish? At like 3? Was it 2 or 3 last night? And
you said you had a 2 o'clock limit, and then
then it went until 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I ended up waking up at 7 because my girlfriend got up for work and couldn't find her shoes.
Oh.
Yeah, I was making loads of noise.
How is it that you earn a living, Chris, if I may ask?
Oh, I run an online music magazine.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I've done that for like 6 years. So, all just like advertising and all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah, it's good fun. It's a lot of work. I pretty much work constantly. When I'm not streaming, I'm working. Just don't leave.
I sell my art online, but nobody really buys it.
Oh no! Right, put a link in the thing. Everyone go and buy Blue's artwork.
I mean, it's cute, I guess.
Yeah, it's all good. Anyway, right, we've got like 50 minutes. We should we need an in-depth, deep topic to talk about for 50 minutes. So anyone in the chat want to bring something up, and we will discuss that for 50 minutes of intenseness. Chris has a girlfriend. I do. Is that a bad thing? Should I not? Should I get rid of her?
No, you shouldn't get rid of your girlfriend. But I'd want to talk about like how he can, what was he called? FriendEd.
Yeah.
How he can come up with that argument and then in the same like span of a few minutes debunk himself, but not realize it and then carry on saying, "Oh, it's a great argument." I don't know. It's cognitive dissonance or something? Yeah. It's just he's convinced that he's right before he's even listened to any other counter arguments. So,
well, I think that's it in general, isn't it?
Paffo's in the chat.
Hey, Paffo. I think it's pretty much a situation with like anyone that eats meat, though, isn't it? Like they've never really taken the time out to really stop and think about it. They just assume what they know is true.
I did a lot when I was a little kid, but every time I did it, I just justified it by saying, "Well, my parents tell me to." They wouldn't want me to put anything bad in my body.
It's just normal. Like it's just like, well, yeah, this is what we do. Like, and I think I'm hoping that conversation maybe will be the kind of thing where he'll listen back on it and it'll just make him, even if it just starts those cogs turning, to be like, because I'm sure he's going to listen to it and realize those kind of mistakes and be like, well, why did I say that? And then completely contradict himself 2 minutes later.
Because he wasn't too defensive about it, and I think that was good on BWP's part, is not getting someone defensive on it, because then they're more challenging to be. You know, they don't want. If they're more challenged on it, they're more adamant on their position. But if you just try and help them get to the conclusion by themselves,
yeah,
it can get the clogs ticking, like you said.
Yeah, I think one thing which I don't know whether he fully understood is, I don't know, he didn't seem to, I don't know if he fully understood the kind of logical argumentation. He kind of acted sometimes like he did, but then he didn't really follow it, which was kind of confusing. He'd bring up like, oh, this is a ad pop every now and then or something to Emma or something. But then when he was making logical fallacies himself, he didn't realize it, which was quite strange. So I don't know.
Maybe he's just new to debating.
Well, yeah, I think this is. I think it's just this is going to be a thing in general with debating people, because none of these people have probably ever had a debate about veganism. It's like a completely new thing, and their instant, reaction is going to be, "I want to defend what I do," and they will end up saying just silly things. But I'm hoping, like through these streams, even if we don't, the thing is, we don't need to convince every single person we speak to go vegan. All we've got to do is show the audience that their thinking is illogical, and then the audience will see. It's not about converting one person; it's about converting everyone that's watching. Oh, Daddy's online. Hey, Daddy. Me and Daddy have got to have a chat at some point. Can't do it tonight because I'm only on for 45 minutes, but we will do that.
Wait,
I think everyone else hated Daddy when he came in the chat last time.
Oh my God. Yeah, he was kind of irritating.
I'm willing to give him
I think he's a troll.
Was he? Is he against veganism?
Yeah, no, I don't think he's strictly against veganism as such. I think like he's got a bit of an interest there. I think he's not fully convinced on the kind of ethical argument at the moment. But I think I can sway him. I think I'll get through to him. I've got faith in him. I've got faith. Oh, apparently he's doing a video for our previous discussion. I will be interested to see that. Make sure you link me when it's up. Like, because I definitely want to see that.
Oh,
that was a good noise.
Do you think that FriendEd was psychologically projecting at all?
I'm not sure. In what way? In what respects?
Like, oh, I didn't catch the stream. Was he like blaming all the issues on veganism, or was he just pointing out?
Well, from what I saw, he was just kind of. I don't know. It was just. I don't know. To be honest, I don't really know what his argument was.
No, it's understandable.
Yeah, I can't really, because like you said, that because I've been watching kind of bits of it, and yeah, there was the kind of social contract kind of thing that came into it, but then obviously he contradicted himself on that point, and then by the end of it, it was just kind of like he just wanted to eat meat. I think. I don't know. It was a bit of a strange one. I think Emma was a bit kind of confused by it because she was just a bit kind of like, I don't feel like I got anywhere. She said in there, I should have asked the question, why wouldn't we kill animals in the worst way possible first? I mean, it's a good angle to take. Like, just go straight in and be like, if you don't care about animals, then you're not going to care if we kill a cow by just torturing it to death because they hold no moral value anyway, so who gives a shit?
I think that people would just counter that with, I don't have to care about animals to not want them to be hurt, and then like prove themselves wrong.
But then you just say, well, if they hold no moral value to you, then why'd you give a shit? Why'd you give a shit? I didn't give a shit about a rock because a rock ain't got no moral value. So why do you give a shit about an animal? If you give a shit about the animal, then you think they hold moral value in some respects. Because otherwise they're an inanimate object and don't care.
I've just seen an increasing amount of people who are arguing that plants are sentient, or that we kill more plants than they do and stuff like that, and somehow that's worse than eating a pig.
If that's just stupid, that's so easy to debunk, isn't it? It's like, well, no, because look at the amount of food a cow eats compared to the food you eat. It
just goes right through their heads as well. Like, they'll say it and then they'll be like, well, yeah, but still. What? Still what?
Yeah. I know, I'm quite excited about all these debates now. I think, like, there's been loads recently, which has been really good. And I think it's going to get to a point where we're going to start getting some of the bigger people kind of getting involved, I think. hopefully anyway, and we start seeing some really kind of high profile ones, which would be really interesting. Like, I'm kind of waiting for the day where we get people like Sam Harris and Sargon and people.
Well, Sam Harris has admitted he doesn't have an argument against veganism. It's just more of his own willpower at the moment. He does want to go vegan. It's just his own willpower.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. That's cool.
I think he only eats fish now, like very rarely, and then he's trying to go onto a vegan diet.
Oh, right. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I
don't understand what it means when people say they're trying to change their diet. Like, does that mean that you're not doing the stuff you used to do anymore? Does it mean that, like, yeah, I'm going vegan, but I'm just so compelled to buy meat at the supermarket? I don't get it.
I think it's probably okay. I think I can relate because I did the same thing. Like, you think, oh my God, it's going to be really hard, and you just kind of baby step into it. You're just like, oh, I'll just give up this first and get used to it, because you think it's going to be some big kind of impossible task, and then you kind of do it and go, oh, that was easy.
I didn't do that for.
Would be the boss.
Yeah, you would be. Yeah.
I didn't do that for going vegetarian or vegan. I just told myself, well, might as well stop now, because what good is it going to do to just eat cookies for a while? Like, I just need to do this now. Like, I had gotten mac and cheese for dinner, and I just threw it out. I didn't want it. It made me too sick.
Even when I went vegan, because I was vegetarian for 15 years before I went vegan. And even when I went vegan, I hadn't fully connected with the ethics then, and I was even like, oh right, I'm going to be vegan, but if it's too hard, then I will eat like dairy products, like when I'm out or something. It wasn't. So I actually became connected to the ethics properly. Like, I understood the dairy industry after I'd become vegan. After I watched Gary Yourofsky's speech, basically, and then I was like, oh shit, okay, yeah, I'm not going back to the cheese then.
So how long have you been vegan?
Like just over 2.5 years.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I was vegetarian for 15 years and then vegan for like 2.5.
What convinced you, Chris, to go vegan?
Okay, well, a bit of a strange story, really. I was kind of like, prior to that, I was kind of, I don't know, mentally getting more and more and more into animal rights and stuff, just not realizing the dairy thing. And then what it kind of was, because it realistically wasn't my idea. My girlfriend had adopted a hamster from a rescue center, and she got really, really attached to it. And when it died, she was absolutely devastated. It was like the first time ever she'd connected with an animal. She was kind of like finally realized that animals are, feeling and sentient and have emotion and could be scared and happy. And she just wanted to do something to kind of commemorate this hamster. And I was like, well, what do you want to do? And she's like, oh, well, the nicest thing I could probably ever do is to never eat an animal again. And I was like, what, like go vegan? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. I've been kind of thinking of doing this for ages. If you're going to do it, I'll do it as well, because we can both kind of support each other. And so we just kind of went vegan because of a hamster. And then after that, that's when I kind of learned about the actual real ethics, and then just went fucking militant and started being like, right, what the fuck have I been doing for years? And it kind of annoyed me that I hadn't kind of done all this sooner. Because I only knew one vegan ever, and he lived up country. And every time I'd see him, we'd have like some vegan food, like a curry or something. But he never really told me much. I just kind of knew he was vegan, but I never really got it. So yeah, mainly to do with a hamster. So a bit of a unique story there.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ralph. He's up in hamster heaven.
Oh.
Yeah, I went vegan because of the Mr. Repsian Vegan Gains drama, because I was a subscriber to the Repsian.
Oh, that's interesting.
And initially I thought, I was like, I always felt bad about eating animals, but people always like convinced me around, no, it's not that bad and stuff like that. So I just went with it. But then I heard these arguments by Vegan Gains, and at first I thought they were silly. But I liked this style and, his comedy. So I kept coming back, and it sort of put it in the path. And then Alex Day, he's another YouTuber, I don't know if you know him, he suggested to watch Earthlings, and then I watched Earthlings, and then that was it.
Yeah, I actually watched Earthlings when I was vegetarian, but I never connected with the dairy side. Like, it absolutely devastated me. I become like hardcore vegetarian, if I, as much as you can be. But I'll tell you the most annoying thing is the reason I went vegetarian is I watched a video on an album by a band called Goldfinger called Meet Your Meat, and it basically showing all the typical factory farms, all that kind of stuff. So I instantly went vegetarian after watching that, and I actually met the singer of Goldfinger probably a few months after that at a festival, and he gave me a Go Vegan leaflet and he signed it. I've actually got it stuck on my wall, and it's annoyed the hell out of me that I basically got that leaflet and I never read it, because I just thought like, oh, I'm already doing it. I've gone vegetarian. I'm not eating animals. Like I thought I'd already, I didn't feel like I had anything more to learn. And so again, so it kind of irritates me now.
Have you actually read it, Chris? Did you finally read it?
No, I haven't, because I kind of know it all now. But it's framed. It's actually free. I don't know if I can show you.
That's kind of cool that you have something to commemorate, like your transition.
Yeah.
How's it going, Blue?
Good. How are you,
You can
Patho?
see them.
I'm alive. It's a little bit cooler here today. Can you hear my fans, or is it good?
No, the fan.
Vaguely.
Yeah, I got them behind the laptop now.
Yeah.
It's interesting you guys are talking about hamsters. I was just thinking about the hamster farm I had when I was like 16. I had started out with 2, and they were obviously male and female. I didn't know anything about hamsters, and they just bred and multiplied. I ended up with like 50 hamsters, and I just kept taking care of them, and like I had like 10 different like 10-gallon tanks, and it had this giant crazy I feel bad because eventually I had to get rid of them, and my cousin took them and had a friend who was willing to take them, and I'm almost positive that they were probably fed to pet snakes, pythons or boas or whatever. And I swore up and down, I was like, I don't want to give them away so they could just be feed for a reptile. I want them to go to good homes. But yeah, I was just thinking about it, I can't believe my mom let me just continue to propagate the hamster population like that.
I think I think I've done the same though. When I was when I was younger, I used to have so many animals. Me and my brother used to have turtles and lizards and snakes and frogs.
Same here. Me too. Yeah. Tarantulas. I've taken care of some wild seagulls that I found that had a hurt wing. I kept in my bathtub for 3 weeks.
Mm.
Oh,
I think that's why I'm mentioning.
Go ahead. What?
I think that's why I'm probably really passionate about the pet kind of thing now, because I think I kind of look back and kind of realize my personal mistakes on it.
Yeah.
Because I considered myself a good pet owner. We would go above and beyond to try and make the most natural environment.
Yeah, me too. With turtles and stuff, I'd always try to create a cool little terrarium, and definitely turtles were my favorite. You mentioned earlier about the debates, and it's interesting. Another synchronicity. I just watched this really formal debate from Intelligence Squared Debates. It's called "Don't Eat Anything with a Face."
Yeah.
And it's got Neil Bernard, Dr. Bernard was on there on the panel, and there's 2 guys on the right, 2 guys on the left, and there's audience members and everything. They take questions, but it was hardcore, man. It was really thought provoking and kind of frustrating. I really wanted to punch the guy in the face, the dude on the right. He was defending, humanely raised.
He had his own farm, and somebody in the audience said something like, "I know for a fact that your animals aren't kept in good conditions." And he was like, "We're not going to make personal attacks right now," but that's what he's been doing the whole time.
Yeah, towards the vegans. But it's interesting because this is the very first sort of formal debate I've ever seen between carnists and vegans in that kind of setting, so that it's very reminiscent of the atheist versus Christian debates and stuff like that. I used to watch with Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens. It reminds me of that. Hey, there's Emma.
Hey, banana in the chat.
But I think that's it's good because that's kind of getting it out there on the scene. I'd never seen that before. A proper debate like that, and it's all the same stuff that we hear all the time.
How was it decided in the end? Was it an audience vote or?
Yeah, plant people won.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
awesome. Yeah, I skimmed through it. I skipped through it a little bit. I was kind of getting frustrated, so I turned it off. But I shared it in some of my groups because I thought it was really relevant. You know, and it's basically like it's us talking to other people exactly the same thing, but it's nice to see it sort of, you know, in that setting, like formalized, like an official debate. You know, and if more of this happens, it puts it out there. You know, it's creating like a buzz and creating more awareness.
The meat eaters, one of their first arguments was that plants are sentient.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with what he was saying. None of what he was saying was wrong, but again, it's false equivalence. Like in relation to what we're actually talking about, to the abuse and the barbarism and the violence, it's absolutely. It's meaningless, you know. It's like a non sequitur. This one thing has nothing to do with the other, and yet it becomes like this constant, you know, thing they fall back on. And then he even said, when you plant a tomato, you know, you're killing hundreds of thousands of microorganisms and small animals, and they get, you know, they were saying, well, that they don't have faces. These aren't the higher, more highly evolved sentient beings that we know have nervous systems and can feel pain. And then so he's like defending bugs. So all of a sudden, it's always like the carnists, all of a sudden they care more about animals and bugs and bacteria than any vegan. And and all it is just an argument. It's so like nonsensical.
It was hilarious because I was just thinking to myself the whole time, surely this guy knows that there is a huge difference between treating an infection with like antibiotics or whatever and killing your pet dog. Like,
right.
It's not
all
even
comes
comparable.
Down to, it's not an argument. It's just they already have a position that they're trying to defend, and so they're just trying to come up with. And I think I sent it to you, Chris. Actually, I posted it on your Facebook page, Chris.
Okay.
Because I was like, this is really relevant to what we were talking about.
Oh, it
was a different one. I think it was a different one. Actually, it was about the paleo. Actually, it was Bite Size Vegan. Emily with Gary talking about paleo diet and our ancestors and what they ate, because we were speaking about that yesterday. So that's the thing I posted. Actually.
Okay, I'm going to take a look now. So I can.
You should watch the Australian debate called "Should Meat Be Off the Menu?" That was quite good. If you've not seen,
I think I've seen that one. That's one with. Is that the one? No,
I haven't seen that yet.
Philip Wallen, isn't it?
Didn't it have this guy who was like a chef in a restaurant and he cooked a lot of meat?
Yeah. His argument was meat's so nice. That was his argument.
Because we've only got half an hour. So I want to see, is Emma, are you in?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know if you want me to just drop out because you.
No, because I think obviously this is the after party for your debate. So I think,
What did you think about it? I didn't see the first bit of your stream.
Okay, well, basically,
anything out of that.
I was kind of just getting loads of shit done for tomorrow while listening, so I kind of missed some of it.
Right, yeah.
But I was just really confused because I couldn't really tell what his argument was. Like at one point,
I tried to ask him, but it was just he just made it so confusing. I don't know if it's just me being dumb or.
No, he was just confusing.
You're not dumb.
Well, I couldn't understand. I go, what the fuck is a moral community?
Yeah, I didn't get that.
I did.
The debate. How would someone be not a part of the vegan moral community? And I was like, what?
What the fuck is it? I don't understand. What is it? It's not it's not a tangible thing. Like
it is like moral community.
Yeah, it's like if you eat meat.
Maybe that's the same thing as like the universal veganism.
Yeah. It's
labels that they're trying to put on us.
You know? No, his argument was social contracts, I think.
Yeah, it's basically that's what it was, wasn't it? I think. I mean, I was just sort of like guessing or assuming because he wasn't giving me.
I watched a video by Foot Soldier where he explained how to debunk social contract without using aliens, and it was very informative. Basically, he framed it as if you accept America's social contract or wherever you're from social contract, you have to accept every social contract because of the fact that it is a social contract. And then you would have to agree on different culture social contracts.
Owen had a really good version of that as well.
Yeah, that's what I tried to get across to him. I thought I did that at some point, didn't I? Like comparing different.
I didn't get to watch your debate, but.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The weird thing was, BWP, he agreed with you on things. So he would debunk his own argument, then go back to it saying there was no flaws to it. So it was really confusing.
The thing I'm not very good at in debate is like just interjecting at the relevant moment, because if they carry on talking, I'm just going to get so lost in they're just going to take on tangents, and then I'm like, oh shit, I need to get back onto that point again before I forget. So I need to get into. I don't know if I want to do any more of these online debates. Seriously, I just don't think
it's difficult. It's difficult even when you're talking to people when they're going off, and then you lose your train of thought, and you want to respond to each point, but
I think that's a deliberate thing that they do.
Yeah. It's just getting more talk time, getting more, like basically it's monopolizing the time, you know, so that they're just getting it out. Whether what they're saying is right or wrong, they're just getting it out, and they're just occupying the space, so to speak.
Yeah, I've got to be more ruthless, I think.
Yeah. I think Daddy's saying that blue's incorrect.
Polite.
Just accepting a single contract doesn't mean you have to accept every other social contract. I would just say the simple thing about social contract is, if there was something within that social contract that you didn't agree with, would you still follow it? And the answer would be no. So therefore, social contract is invalid. It's as simple as that, really, isn't it? Like, social contract, just because everyone at the time agrees with something, it doesn't necessarily mean it's right. I think that's the basics of social contract.
And also, the point I raised in the debate was social contracts can progress to something better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a finite as it is. Why can't we adapt it and change it?
Emergent. Yeah, it should be malleable and emergent.
Yeah.
I just don't understand when you're given the option to choose which social contract to listen to, in a sense. Why would you want the social contract to allow killing animals needlessly?
Yeah.
Like, you have a choice.
Taste, because it's tasty.
Would you guys agree that like a core, like fundamental sort of idea in all of this is how we view other animals, like how human beings actually see other animals? Like, before we get into all the discussions and debates and stuff, you almost have to like establish, okay, how do you feel about other animals? Like, do you recognize yourself as an animal? Do you recognize, you know, the value, the intrinsic value and worth of other species? Like, if that's not there to begin with, then there's no ground. You can't even, you know, you're going to lose any conversation, any argument, because you have to first, you know, establish how they view other life forms. You know, if they see them as just commodities and objects and things and resources to be harvested, or are they fellow, you know, sentient beings and individuals?
I thought I did that to a certain degree when I was talking to him, but then he just fell back on moral community, though. It just always went back to that. No matter what I said, it just always came back down to that as a
word game. Sounds like it was just a word game, game that he was playing with you. And yeah.
I kind of wish you had pushed him more on because right at the end, I think you were just getting him at the end. He started to stumble when you were like, well, why can't we just kill it however we want? Why does it matter?
Yeah, I should have used that at the beginning, really.
Yeah.
Emma, which debate was this? Because I'm looking at your page now. Was it?
It's just on
FriendEd,
yeah.
FriendEd. Okay.
Yeah, it's got a blue face.
Gotcha.
On the thumbnail.
I'll check it out in a little while.
And also something.
Sorry, go ahead.
Something else that he said that I got him to concede on this. I don't think I got him to concede on it, but he just said that as his way of weaseling out of the argument and appearing consistent, he said that there's nothing wrong with inconsistency.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true, but he said that before.
About logic, wasn't it? Didn't he say that about logic, and then he kind of stopped and kind of realised that what he said was stupid because he was kind of saying that logic was wrong? Was that it?
What's his name? Stefan Molyneux. I can't ever say his last name.
Stefan Molyneux.
Yeah, that guy. I can't stand that guy. I mean, he'll play word games and do just so many, like, you manipulate the conversation and literally just to you know, prove his points, just to kind of win the argument. Like, and a lot of people are just doing that. Like, it's not even about the issues. It's literally just about them trying to win the argument, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of seeing at the moment. It seems like a lot of people aren't interested in actually challenging their own beliefs. All they're interested in is winning the argument and to be like, then they'll literally say whatever just to, you know, not lose?
A little bit off topic, but on topic. We were talking about like emotional depletion and burnout and how to like recharge as activists. At 5 o'clock, well, 5 p.m. my time, in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, there's going to be a thing online where this guy, have you ever heard of him, Matt Johnson?
No.
He's an environmental activist. He does a lot of outreach and stuff, but he's going to have like an online webinar at 5 p.m. You have to kind of sign up for it, but you can join in, and he's going to talk about sort of how to encourage one another and how to keep keep your spirits up and like stay strong.
Maybe put
in the face of so much negativity. Yeah, I can link to it right now.
People. Yeah, put it in the chat.
But I just want to let you know about that. Like anybody that might be struggling or is I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how good it's going to be, but it's put on by the Vegan Spirituality, and my friend Lisa, she invited me to it. So they're going to be interviewing me on the 13th this month as well. You can call in, and there's going to be like a show. Nice. Same thing, I guess. It's going to be like an online sort of discussion, and then people can call in.
Yeah, whack a link in the chat then, and everyone can.
Yeah, well,
check it out. But Emma, what would you say if you were going to redo that debate? So what would you do differently now? Do you reckon you'd go straight in with why do you care how they're treated?
I think I'll just go with the hard-hitting questions first.
Because I think one thing which I think a lot of people have learned from the conversation with Destiny is if people want to hold that position, you can push them to the extremes. You can literally say, right, if you agree that they don't hold moral value, then you can do what the fuck you want with them. I can go up and just stab them in the head multiple times.
I've actually said that.
Hey, how you going, man? So yeah,
what you said, Chris, I've said that to like a teenager who was like, well, I don't care, man. I mean, I'll do whatever I want. I was like, well, okay, well, I could just kick your ass right now. I could just punch you in the face, and it doesn't matter, right? Because we can do whatever we want. And he was like, and he got all like, and I was like, no, I'm just saying there are consequences, man. Like there's consequences to everything that we do. There's moral repercussions. There's civil, legal consequences. There's environmental consequences. And then he like calmed down a little bit. But I always make that point. I'm like, people think that we're free. We're like free moral agents, and we can do whatever we want. But everything we do affects everything else. So
Yeah, exactly. I think even if people want to believe that we should eat meat or we need it or whatever, that they can still make a decision to not do it. It's just like, whatever, it's just, I don't know. It's all stupid. What's Danny saying? Destiny is a terrible debater, to be honest. Doesn't even know how to formulate a structural supporting premise. He's more erratic with his debate style. Perks.
How do you guys see the text?
On the actual YouTube link.
Because I don't want to. Because if I go back to the YouTube channel, there's going to be a weird echo.
Pause it. Just pause it.
Yeah, just pause it or mute it. Yeah, Tim.
Okay.
Tim, what was your views on Emma's debate?
Oh, well, I've been getting into it with FriendEd for a while, as he alluded to. Yeah, because I really respected him a lot before this whole debacle. All the other people who've been getting in these debates, I didn't really care for to begin with. Like I watched him, like I followed the Warskis, I followed Bering, but I didn't really care for him. I didn't respect them on an intellectual level. But with FriendEd, I really respected him on an intellectual level, and I just feel like he's doing this intellectual contortionism to try to make him seem like he's making this really logical, reasonable argument, and he's just not. He's not making and what I tried to say to him, he kept accusing me of saying like I'm trying to imply he supports terrible things, and I'm like, no, I'm trying to show you that if your logic, when applied to other scenarios, is flawed. And so one of the points I made was, well, you could say that the moral community and I know a million people have said this, but the moral community in some Islamic cultures says it's okay to do genital mutilation, therefore it's okay.
Yeah.
Or I said, and then I even said to him, like, I tried to use more like relatable examples, like, anti-miscegenation laws were recently valid in the United States. And if it wasn't for people who recognized that the moral community was wrong, individuals who recognized that the moral community was wrong, if it wasn't for those individuals, anti-miscegenation laws would still exist. Or if it wasn't for the abolitionists in, the 19th century saying that slavery is wrong, individuals taking personal responsibility for their actions and their values and arguing based on those actions, then we would have never changed the moral community. So yeah, he can say the moral community is what makes it okay for him to get away with it now. It doesn't make it ethical. It doesn't make it moral.
This is something I did raise this with him. I raised that. Right. Sorry.
So good call, Emma.
Go ahead.
I did raise that with it. I used the example. He actually brought it up that he actually brought up slavery as part of the moral community, you know, all those years ago, and that we saw that, you know, it was wrong to keep slaves over time, and now we haven't got them. Like, so that's an example of how the moral community has changed. So, and I think I came back with him, well, why can't we do that with veganism then? Like just improve the moral community.
Right. Well, what I asked him when I was in chats with him, I asked him, like, if you existed in that time where before pre-abolition, would you make this argument to justify the continuation of the slave trade? Would you say the moral community justifies us continuing the slave trade because we need tobacco and we need cotton? And of course he wouldn't, or maybe he would. I don't know. I don't want to presume.
You just got to put yourself in the victim's shoes. Like, of course, like, you put yourself in the victim's shoes. What he would justify to continue his own slavery? No, like, and yeah, morality changes over time. All I was saying before was that, like, you know, what the majority says, just because something is legal doesn't make it right. You know, there's a lot of things that have gone on throughout history that are legal, that are perfectly normal, that are part of the established culture, that are clearly ethically wrong. And then as human race, as human species evolves and advances, we make changes and stuff when it comes to child labor laws, giving women the right to vote, you know, slavery, all those things. And now it's with animals and animal rights.
Right, and to me, it's a natural progression. Like, we went from not all men having equal rights to not all genders having equal rights, and now it's not all species have equal rights. And I don't think animals should have equal rights, but they certainly shouldn't be exploited.
Yeah, but Tim, he just went back to after I identified all that with him, and all he just said was, well, animals aren't in the. It just went back to animals aren't part of our moral community. It's just always went back to that.
Yeah,
and he didn't define what that actually was, like, not in a way that I could probably understand or accept anyway.
I think that's just intellectual dishonesty, honestly.
It's like an appeal to majority fallacy.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. Him saying an argumentum ad populum is not appropriate. It's completely wrong. He's using the strict absolutist definition where it needs to have a deductive objective fact attached to it, and that's just simply not true. If we all said the sky is green, it wouldn't make it true, and it's an objective. Well, that's not even a good example. It's anything, any statement that is considered to be true simply because the majority accepts it as true is an argumentum ad populum. It does not need a deductive fact.
I couldn't understand his reasoning why I couldn't use that. Why I couldn't point out that fallacy, because
it's inconvenient for him for you to use that fallacy.
What's he trying to
Or it goes back to what I was saying about how he is viewing non-human animals. That if they don't have rights, if they don't, because they're lesser beings than us, because we're superior than them, you know, whatever you call that, that mentality is what he's drawing from.
Yeah, at one point he made it sound like it was an us versus them type situation, like we're in this war with Calcine. Yeah, it was. He said some bizarre shit. That's for sure.
A lot of people do that. You know, animals would kill us if they had the chance. You know, well, all animals are feeding on other animals. So again, that's an appeal to nature. But it's when it's convenient, you put yourself in the category of wild animals, and then with everything else, like washing machines and cell phones and computers, you know, we're up here. We're on another level.
Yeah, I asked him.
Sorry, Blue was trying to get in there.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask a question for all of you, for whoever wanted to answer. And that is, do you think that some of these people who we discuss veganism with are just so disconnected from animals that they can't see them as having like any semblance to what we go through as humans?
I don't believe that.
Why is that?
Or they're just defending their position because they enjoy eating meat. They don't want to change their lifestyle. They don't want to. They don't want to change.
I agree. I totally agree. I think most people agree with the moral argument that the right to life for animals has value. I think most people intrinsically agree with that. They start to disagree with it when it's not coordinating with their lifestyle choices.
Sure.
So I think they agree that animals should be treated with respect, but they do these mental gymnastics, gold medal worthy mental gymnastics to justify their bad behavior.
Do you remember
go ahead.
Do you remember what he said? Because going back to the value thing, if you believe that animals have value, right? Do you remember what he said? What value he places on meat, on animals?
I can't remember.
I wish I watched it.
He said it's to do with because they taste good. It's their meat value.
Yeah, I mean, and even
oh yeah, that's why I say he wouldn't eat cats and stuff, because he's just like, oh,
they don't
wouldn't
have
taste
any
good.
meat value. Cats don't have meat value. Cows do, because
even like the super chat question I asked him, where I was like, if it improved the quality of meat, would you be in favor of torturing animals? And he evaded that question. He said some nonsense about how, they must torture Wagyu. So in a way, he actually did answer. He said if Wagyu needs to be tortured to be that good, he would be fine with it because he likes Wagyu. Which once I hear something like that, I'm like,
it's a type of beef cow.
It's
I just learned as well.
Like pizza sauce, Wagyu.
No, it's a weird word. It's a Japanese word. It's like 4 different cattle breeds that have been bred together to make one super breed, and it's like this really marbled meat. And see, I know a lot about this stuff because I've worked in kitchens my whole life. I loved to work with meat until I put the connection together. And this is why I say I don't think it's because people don't have the connection to animals. I think they do have it. It's just there's this mental block. I experienced this mental block firsthand. It's fun to manipulate meat. It's fun to work with meat. It's a good working material, but it's a living being before it becomes meat. It's a living being that has an emotional range. It has feelings. It has sentiments for its fellow creatures. So there's no real justification for us to enact our will on them if for pleasure only.
Amen.
I've noticed that the way that people talk about meat itself is just completely disconnected from the fact that it is an animal. They'll say, well, pork chops come from a pig. And it's like, no, pork chops are a pig. It was a pig before you killed it.
The euphemisms and stuff, and beef, bacon, like all the ham. Like we see it, we see the product. There's the disconnect because cultural conditioning. We see the finished product and we don't see the animal. We don't see the animal that suffered and died for it.
Yeah,
Emma's got a really good video on this. If you've got Emma's channel, there's a video from Rev walking around asking people, what's your favorite animal to eat?
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah,
that's right. I remember that.
I want to do that again.
Everybody do a double take.
Yeah, they kind of go, pork and animal.
The way he was talking, the way he was talking, he said he's seen what a slaughterhouse is like and what the processing is like. I don't buy that. I don't think he really has. I don't think he's really given this fair consideration. Because on one hand, he's acting like he's disgusted by these things, but he was not talking like a person who's really witnessed this stuff firsthand. He just wasn't.
You got to take into account how much people are actually lying if they're just not being truthful when they're.
Yeah, this is the thing I want to ask you guys. I wanted to ask for your advice on this because do you think I should have pressed a bit more on that kind of side of things? Do you think I should have gone down the more psychological route to kind of see, dig out whether he is lying or not?
I think so.
I don't know whether I should have done that more.
I don't know. I don't know if there's anything you could have done. I think with certain people, and this is one of my problems with the whole debate, the debate implies that there's a winner and a loser, and no one wants to go into any situation with the intent to lose. So right off the bat, his mindset is, I need to be right with my starting base no matter what. So I think the fundamental premise of a debate is flawed if our goal is to get people to move towards our side. Because people want to win.
It's about winning. Yeah, truth is not the incentive. Right. It's not about being honest and being sincere and really like making the logical points and being open to the other person's side. It's just about winning and having your voice heard.
Which is why I was saying the debates are more beneficial purely for the audience watching because they can see where people are messing up and everything, and it doesn't matter if the other person's determined to win or not.
I saw like a whole bunch of people in the no bullshit comments in the ranting monkey comments saying like, you did such a bad job debating that I'm going vegan now and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah, have you seen it? Like, people were in No Bullshit's video where he unboxes his humane, like, invasive species meat that he ordered off Amazon, even though it's from a farm, and they were all saying, "Dude, you're so stupid, I'm going vegan."
So making bad arguments actually can work in our favor. Like,
yeah.
Guys, do you think that even if like the two people who are debating aren't very good at debate and stuff like this, if one person is just being really fallacious, that the audience can tell? Like, it doesn't matter if, like, I didn't really press him too much and I should have cornered him a bit more and pushed him. Do you think that like the audience would just see through that anyway?
I think so. I think if the audience is honest, I think if people have got a bias, they're going to follow their bias. But I think anyone's watching it with a genuine interest of, I want to, see what this is about and make a decision based on it, then they'll just see through the crap. And obviously the comments always help. If everyone in the comments is like, this is a little bullshit.
That's what I was going to say. I wanted to say on that one of the ex-vegan, I mean, like 95% of those comments, people are just like sort of pissed off and annoyed at that guy, and they're just saying he's doing somersaults and he's totally inconsistent, and so even if you aren't like convincing him of anything, like, since it's recorded and people are watching it, like it's still showing, the other person's stupidity or lack of intelligence. So it still works in your favor if you just the fact that it's on record, it's there.
His starting position anyway with his original video was flawed, because the whole point of the framework of argument for marginal cases is from a subjective point of view. So you shouldn't be arguing on behalf of a moral community. You should be arguing on behalf of your own independently concluded ideas.
Right.
Like, you should be arguing based on your own values, not on the moral community's values, not on the collective's values, but on your own values.
Yeah. That never happens. They always talk about this sort of universal modality and what applies to everyone and what applies to the people in the foreign countries and the most obscure parts of the world. What happened, like, 2,000 years ago, like it goes in all these different directions. It's never just, this is how I feel, this is my opinion, this is why, this is what I base it off of,
Yeah, I swear that these people only bring up tribes people when they're talking about veganism, because it's the only time that they're like even remotely relevant in the conversation.
Yeah. You don't do anything else that a tribes person does or that an Inuit Eskimo does, but this one thing, since you're there's a parallel there, you're gonna like appeal to that.
That's a survival scenario, though, and they've got to do what they've got to do.
I don't know enough about
in the argument, or you mean
be able to comment on that.
Did you mean in the argument that people are trying to survive, or you mean the actual?
No. If you say, well, tribes people do this to survive, why can't I do this?
Because they're surviving. You're not surviving.
Yeah, Chris speaks to that well. He says we're modern, modern Homo sapiens living in modern societies with all of these advancements in technology and culture. There's no reason to even discuss it. Hey guys, I love to keep talking, but I'm gonna go to do that online webinar. You should check it out.
We're gonna wrap this up in a moment anyway, because I did say an hour, and I'm gonna try and stick to it for.
Yeah, it might be interesting. You got to register or whatever, but the link is in the in the box up there. It's the very first link I shared. So, the second link I shared. So check it out.
I want to carry on the stream on my channel if anyone wants to join.
Yeah,
or anyone be interested?
Well, do you want to quickly set it up while this one's running, so then we can?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so we can put it in the chat then.
All right. So.
All right, see you guys. Keep in touch.
Yeah.
So do I go to Creator Studio?
Yeah, go to Creator Studio, then go to live streaming events, and then just put a name in, click live, and then just post the Hangout link into the chat.
I'm going to go to bed now.
Yeah.
I've got to go up early in the morning too. Go to Nottingham or wherever it's where.
But yeah, everyone stay tuned. Why Blue
So what do I do now? I'm at stream now, or do I go to events?
I normally go to events and name it, and then click go live.
New live event.
Yeah, then it should pop up a new Google Hangouts.
Mhm.
Is that working?
Yes. Today, now.
Yeah.
And then if I say...
What you might need to do is come out of this Hangouts because it'll open a new one. And then you'll see obviously the link at the top will be the Hangouts link. And then at the bottom, you'll see a thing, you'll see a bit saying links, and you can click on that. And actually, I'll just show you, screen share it quickly. Right.
You're awesome.
Right, so you can see down here, it says links. You can click here. You can get the YouTube link here. And then at the top, you've got the actual Hangouts link. Actually, you probably can't see that because everything's in the way. Yeah, it's up here.
You might have to turn off your spam filter too if you want to share that in chat.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Or just paste the URL and just remove the HTTP and write dot instead of the dots. That's how I did it.
This is like one area where I'm technologically illiterate. So I press go live now.
Yep.
All right.
And then Hangouts should pop open.
Okay, okay. All right, I'm going to leave now. So if anyone wants to come to the discussion, they are free to do so.
Yeah, go and just keep checking on Blue's channel because you'll probably see it'll come up in a minute anyway. It'll say she's gone live, and then she can post the Hangouts link in. Can
you tell us your full YouTube channel? Because I've never come across you before.
I'll put it, well, I can go in...
If you comment in my chat, then if anyone wants to go to her channel, if you hover over her name in the chat, you'll see 3 dots, and you can click that and go to the channel from there. If that makes sense. Or I can just post a link. Hold on, this might be quicker.
All right, so you can go to my channel if you want now.
I'll post a link for you. Hold on. If I can find you. There you are.
I'm going to go now.
Okay.
Thanks for chatting.
Yeah, I'll speak to you later. And everyone go over to her chat so then I can go to bed.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
No worries. I just want to make sure everyone gets over first. Cool.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, so links in there, so you can all go over. Has everyone got that? Are we all good?
All right, I guess you can go to bed now. I was going to try to get you to stick around for 2 hours, but...
I know, I've been so bad, though. I need to sort it out. Like, my sleep, honestly, I feel like I'm going to get dementia or something from lack of sleep. Terrible. But I only got to go to, this vegan camp out thing, so, yeah. And, Daddy, me and you will have a chat some evening next week because I'm away until Sunday. And then, yeah, I'll be free. So...
All right, guys, have a good night.
Yeah, we'll speak soon, man. Daddy, we'll be in contact.
Good night.
Yeah, see you, Vahan. Thanks for coming on. And cheers for everyone in the chat. Go and Blue Morpho's channel. Go subscribe to everyone. Go subscribe to everyone in the chat. Go watch Daddy's video that he's posting. Could be quite interesting. Subscribe to OG Mizzen, obviously. Subscribe to everyone in there. And yeah, I'm going to bed. Right. See you in a bit. Peace out. Go vegan. Sort your life out. Right, bye.